is it like to be in an ecosystem of progressive learning? Today, I'm at JBCN International School's Chembur campus, their most recent outpost for edu-creativity. Spacious foyers, acoustically designed classrooms, intricately designed spaces. Let's discover all of this unique world-class infrastructure, which is very key to their unique education approach. Kunal, classrooms have always been the center of your 360-degree learning approach. Can you just walk us through what really goes inside planning each of these?
The idea is to create a learning environment that stimulates the learners. So whether it's vibrant colors, whether it's the lighting, whether it's different aspects in terms of materials that are used in the classroom, that's the entire thought process.
Tell us about the concepts you've used in your classrooms for your youngest learners.
There are three ways of learning. There are auditory learners, visual learners, and kinesthetic learners. So the visual learners are obviously they see, they need to look at things, they need to look at the environment, and they pick up and learn. The auditory ones are the ones that listen and process and are able to learn. And the kinesthetic learners are the ones who like the touch and feel. Your iPads, your resources, your books, your equipment. So we've tried to look at every aspect of learning for this age group. Obviously, learners do not have one type of learning. It's usually a combination of all three, with one of them being a higher skill in their ability to learn. So it's a combination of these three areas that we've focused on, and that's how we've built our pre-primary classrooms.
So Kunal, today's children have so many different avenues. How do you push boundaries and get them to express themselves creatively?
Right now we're standing in the music room. Huge emphasis on music. In our schools, every learner learns up to 3 instruments by the time they're in grade 6 or 7. Lots of focus on individual singing, orchestras, performances. We also have a recording studio. There's certain skills that are important for learners to become relevant members of society. And these are skills that cannot be replicated by machines or robots. So creativity, innovation, communication, leadership, entrepreneurship, these are areas that are going to make our learners successful, whatever happens 20, 25 years from now. And that's why creativity is part of the JBCN curriculum. This is the auditorium that we've built for the learners. It's a fully acoustically treated auditorium with green rooms, with enough spaces for the learners to practice before they get on stage.
I think it's incredible because as facilitators, we can just provide them with world-class infrastructure and then just give them like a springboard to, you said, whether it's entrepreneurship or creative arts or whatever else that there is, right? This is really an unconventional library. What was the thought process behind building this?
Today, everything is a click away. The idea and the skill that is required is channelizing the right information. And that is something that is done over here. The environment is created so that we can build those kind of skills in these learners. It also kind of works for all age groups. So you have a digital area for the digital library. You have informal areas, formal areas. So here we are at the art studio, Mansi, and the way we've designed this and developed this area is we've tried to give an indoor and outdoor look again. The outdoor art studio is largely for slightly older learners where they will overlook the playground, get some inspiration. We have different forms of art. We have sculpting, we have modern art, we have digital art. The older learners even learn different softwares, things like Photoshop. And then you have your conventional art, which is basically your easel boards, your paint brushes, your paintings.
Right, it's really incredible. It really makes all of us want to go back to our school and think, do we have such luxuries or not? So Kunal, as a parent, I'm very curious to know what are the safety measures that you're actually taking?
We have third-party audits and agents that work with us on all the safety and security measures that need to be conducted. We have a tie-up with a hospital that runs the infirmary. We have surveillance rooms, CCTV cameras everywhere. Even smaller things like if you see all our doors, they have, they're all child-proof so that no, fingers can't get in. So there's a lot of attention to detail to ensure that the environment is made safe and secure.
What was the inspiration behind the mind, body, soul learning philosophy, and how were you implementing it in school?
So the idea behind the mind, body, and soul was to give a holistic learning approach to all the learners. Here we are in the self-expression zone, and like it suggests, it's about self-expression. Whether it's a form of dance, whether it's a form of art, whether it's theater, whether it's, digital work that happens over here, it's basically enhances the whole creative angle in a child's mind. When it comes to things like the soul, there's a lot of focus on, of course, giving back, social service, which is a big part of our program. But now even mental health has become a huge area, mindfulness. So we have a program, the first 15 minutes of every day. It's called Quality Circle Time, and we do a program called Optimism.
I think it's incredible that you're doing that because it is the need of the hour, right? Kunal, there's so much for the children to do. What about downtime, which is a very integral part of growing up?
What we've done throughout the school is created a lot of informal spaces. Here we are in the infirmary. Of course, this is if a learner is feeling a bit unwell, a little down. But again, wanted to create an environment that they are okay being in case they're not feeling too well. We've also created audiovisual rooms on every floor. These are informal areas with steps. We have read aloud rooms, which is also important once again for the learner to have an informal learning environment. We also have a teacher lounge because they obviously need the maximum downtime where they can kind of do their work, but at the same time socialize, build that camaraderie within the team.
This is such an incredible environment. I'm sure the kids have an absolute blast. Tell us more about it, Kunal.
Education should have no boundaries. And the idea of creating these various zones was for kids to come and explore different aspects of education, different aspects of the curriculum, large spaces, they can actually move around and really use the entire environment to their benefit to ensure that learning happens. Over and above that, of course, as a physical zone, there's a lot of fun activities that happen. So if you have a balancing beam or you have a wall with the rock climbing, you'll see a lot of teamwork happening between the young learners where they're supporting each other. You'll see a lot of fine motor skill and gross motor skill development happening in these zones.
I mean, what's left? I'm just really, really curious, like, what more?
So we have a creativity and innovation lab that is coming up. We have a math lab. We obviously have our science laboratories that are coming up. We have a swimming pool coming up on the terrace, which will be nice for the learners as swimming is part of our program. We have close to a 1.5 acre playground coming up, and I think it's a luxury to have that kind of space in Mumbai. A building and an infrastructure is largely built once, so we want to kind of get it right and make sure that it suits and builds the environment for creative learning.